I'll say good day to you this day of your time. How are you all? All right, thank you. We will proceed this day of your time by first of all thanking each and every one of you for the co-creation of this transmission. Each and every time we are allowed to experience your civilization, it affords us an opportunity to understand that many more ways that the infinite has of expressing itself within creation, and this to us is a gift. So we thank you for this sharing and this opportunity to see more facets of the multidimensional crystal of all that is. We would like to begin this day of your time with a little bit of an idea that we will call the state of the future union. The idea being that we have already discussed with you a little bit about what we perceive coming up in what you call your future with respect to the unification of your world and eventually, in time, the joining of your world with our alliance, our association of many different civilizations. Now, again, remember, there is no such thing as a prediction of the future. There is only a sensing of the energy that exists at the time the prediction is made. It's a sensing of the present energy. And if that energy does not change, then the events that are discussed will come to pass. But energy always changes. Sometimes, though, there is a great deal of momentum behind a particular course, a particular path, and thus it is unlikely that that energy will change, and therefore more probable that the event discussed will come into manifestation. We have talked about the fact that it seems probable, likely, that somewhere after your year, as you count time, of 2015 to 2025, it will be a certain fact known by the majority of people on your planet that extraterrestrial civilizations exist. I am not saying there will be mass landings of craft in that time, but you will know we exist. Then, between your year of 2025 and 2033, it is highly likely that you will have some open contacts that are going to be, in that sense, publicized. And thus, then, it will lead to further interaction that will ultimately result sometime, most probably, as we read your energy now, before your year of 2040, in Earth becoming a member of our alliance. Now, during that time of acceleration, during that time when you become aware of the existence of other civilizations and the time you take your place in our alliance by your own choice, several different things obviously will have to happen on your planet. And what we'd like to give you right now is a reading of the energy that exists as we read it now, of the most likely probable scenarios of exactly in what manner the unification of your planet may take place over time, in stages, as it were. This is not necessarily in any particular order. It is somewhat difficult to read the timeline in the way that would give us an exact order of these things, but there are likelihoods. One of the things that will begin to happen is the creation of what we perceive to be called the North American Alliance. And that will be between what you call your United States of America and your Canada. It will join together in what you would call fundamentally, politically, one nation. This will then be followed eventually by the idea of what you call your Central American region. But that will take a little bit longer, as certain other kinds of conditions will need to be worked out first. You have already begun to see a little bit of this in what you call, of course, the origination of your United States, and of course now, more recently in your history, the creation of what you call your European Union. This will continue, this trend will continue beyond the North American Alliance, into a confederation of South American states, into at least 70 perhaps 80% of what you would call the African nations. There will be some Asiatic bonding, although this may take a little bit longer due to a variety of reasons. But eventually, the South Asian regions will also find a path, and then the Middle Eastern regions will also finally come together, although in your language that may be a little bit of a bumpy ride. However, somewhere around your year of 2035 to 2037 or 39 at the latest, all those unions, at least in some sense politically, will begin to function, will find their footing, and by those later years will be cohesive enough for our alliance to consider them as qualified to join the membership on the entry level of what you would refer to as an interstellar alliance. And from that point forward, of course, you will have open assistance in furthering the unification of your planet. As you say, cleaning up the loose edges from that point forward. Somewhere by your year of 2050, you will find that you are well on your way to going into the next level of your membership in the Interstellar Alliance, the Association of Worlds, the Federation, the Star Nation tribes, whatever you wish to call us, we don't care. We don't really have a name for it. These are names that just translate into your language on Earth. But we understand ourselves in that sense to be a family. And so, you are heading towards joining our family, and this is why we already consider you to be members of our family and are having these interactions with you in this way at this time to lay the foundations and lay the groundwork for the state of the future union of your planet that you call Earth in your language. One of them anyway. As such, all of these interactions, whether they be with an individual or whether they be with groups, all serve the purpose of changing your reality toward that day, toward those times. For remember, it is one of the principles that we have talked about many times, is that if you change anything, any part of the whole, even a little bit, you change all of the whole. Any change is a total change. And if you wish to begin to look at it that way, you will see the profound effect that looking at it that way will have on your individual lives as well as your collective experience on Earth. Any change is a total change. Not just a little change, a total change. Even if it is only different by one atom, a different universe is a different universe in totality. Learn that every change means you are, in the next moment, a different universe entirely. And can create from that point forward anything you wish. We will be discussing more of these principles of deep core changes tomorrow of your time. And we will be asking the question, why are you here? Now, at this timing, we will extend to you our invitation for interaction. You may proceed however you wish with questions and answers. And remember to speak up and be bold so that all may hear what you have to share, for there are no accidents. And even though whatever it is you are experiencing in your individual life may seem to be mostly germane only to you, everyone who is present can get something out of it to apply to their own lives in varying degrees. There are no accidents. So, with that in mind, by all means, please proceed.
Hello, Bashar.
And to you, good day.
I have a question about...
Speak up, speak up.
Okay. I have a question about the meditation.
You have a question about meditation.
Which was in October last year on
Yes.
a spaceship.
Yes.
The entity I've met in the meditation
Yes.
was completely unknown to me, but at the same time we had such a bond
Yes.
between us. And first I thought it was no shape or no color or nothing
Yes.
very specific.
Yes.
But when first I thought I got that thought it's my mother. But then I put my hand inside and it was like I suddenly understood it was me.
Yes. Most individuals in those meditations, as we guide them, are creating a space in which it is designed for you to meet an aspect of your own higher self. It may present itself to you in any number of ways, but almost all of the meditations that we conduct are designed to put you in touch with different aspects of yourself. This is not to say that you cannot encounter other beings along the way, guides, loved ones, friends, family, and so forth. But the primary contact in most of those meditations will be with aspects of yourself that we would like you to get used to so that you can, in that sense, allow them to, shall we say, rub off on you and become more of your version of them in physical reality. Does that make sense to you?
Yes. Yes. So
And?
basically I've met my higher self.
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
How did that feel?
I started to cry and I couldn't stop for, I don't know, at least a half an hour.
Perfect. Because then you were willing to release the old ideas of yourself, let them melt away in your tears, and begin to take on a new understanding, a new persona, and be a new you. That is a beautiful response.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
May I ask a question about the other person?
I don't know. Can you?
Okay, I'll try.
Oh, all right, if you insist on trying.
My sister...
Or you could just ask.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
My sister is here, and she's been told that she has one of her guides is extraterrestrial.
All right. And so?
Could you identify this extraterrestrial?
Nope.
No. Okay, thank you
Not
so
at this
much.
time. Thank you. This is similar. Although it is not an impossible thing to do, we will always rely on the timing of these things to decide whether or not we are allowed to bring through that kind of information. But questions like that, especially if we are not actually interacting with the person directly, are very similar to the kind of question that sometimes we get asked, that we have talked about before, when people come up and say, Bashar, I saw a UFO the other day. Can you tell me who was on that UFO? And we say, well, it is very similar to saying, well, I was walking down the street the other day and I saw one of your airplanes flying somewhere. Can you tell me who was on it and where it was going? We may know, but we don't know the comings and goings of all extraterrestrials. They have their agendas. We have our agendas. They work in concert, to be sure, but that's mostly through synchronicity. We don't necessarily know everyone out here firsthand on a first name basis, at least those that have names. So, it is possible sometimes to answer a question like that, but not as often as you may think, unless we are dealing directly with the person and find that that person opens a doorway through which we are then shown that we have permission to reveal who is working with whom, which we don't always have, because we might, as you say, spill the beans about something that we ought not to in their process. Next question.
Hello, Bashar.
And to you, good day.
My name is Hassan.
Oh, all
And
right,
I
if you insist.
All right, my question is personal.
Oh, well, yes, I would think so, since you are a person.
Thank you. It has to do with my father, basically.
Yes?
And
How so?
When I was younger, during my childhood and everything, I was raised in a way which was very controlling
Yes.
by him. He was strict.
Yes.
He was non-affectionate,
All right.
non-emotional,
All
never
right.
told me he loved me, everything.
Right, and?
And so I thought I dealt with it later on, and I thought everything was solved. And in the past year, it has been resurfacing again, and
yes.
I've been having dreams about him, and
Very good, yes.
few times I've been waking up crying, and
Yes, very good.
and the last time I had some kind of anxiety attack, even
Yes.
a shortness of breath and everything.
Yes, this is going around.
Yeah, so my question is, I've been trying to heal everything I had.
Yes.
So what would be the best way to deal with this?
Well, there are
problem?
many different ideas, many different approaches, many different techniques, and we can talk about a few ideas.
Please go ahead.
Thank you. First of all, please understand this is normal for you humans. All right? Normal. When you are born on your world, there is a great degree of limitation in terms of your ability to understand what you are doing on earth. You forget. You are born into families, and you take upon yourself the patterns of those families unconsciously. At a certain time in your life, or times, there will be an upwelling, an upsurge of certain of those patterns. Most likely at exactly the same age or around the same age that your own parents experienced the same issues. You will replay them in your own way, revisit them in your own way, from your own perspective. It is part of a family agreement to look at certain issues over and over again, generation to generation, but from different perspectives, so that you add to the overall spiritual family's knowledge of all the different ways to deal in physical reality with those issues. But primarily, it is an opportunity for you to discover more and more of who you uniquely are as a person, as an individual, in how you deal with this issue. It does not mean that just because you may be dealing with these issues, that a particular result must occur. You may find yourself having to deal with the issue, but it doesn't mean that the result that happened for your parents has to happen for you. Do you follow me so far?
I do, yeah, thanks.
Because you know you are different. You know you are coming from a different perspective. And the very fact that you can stand apart from your father and recognize what he could not give you gives you an advantage, gives you a leg up, as you say. Gives you a new perspective from which to approach these ideas you are now feeling. First and foremost, do your best to remember that when you feel those panic attacks, those anxiety moments, that all it is about belief. Nothing physically is really generally going to happen to you in the negative. You understand?
I do, yeah.
I know it may feel to you like you may be dying, but you will not die. Some of you say, unfortunately. Nevertheless, the point is, you are being given an opportunity to experience an idea, a perspective, to handle it in your own unique way, and for the most part, to simplify this before we go on, for the most part, the purpose here is to really decide very clearly for yourself who you are as compared to who you are not. The experience gives you a better understanding of who you are not. Because the reason you're having the experience is because you are unconsciously comparing yourself to who you have been taught to believe you should be, and comparing that with who you know in your soul, in your spirit, in your heart, you really are. So this is a good thing. It means you have arrived at a place in your life where you are ready to make that comparison, ready to understand who you really are as opposed to who you are really not, which is the legacy your father gave you, a good measure of all the things you know are not who you prefer to be, so that it'll be much easier for you to define who it is you do prefer to be. In short, easier to be the light when you are comparing it to the dark. You follow me?
I do, yeah.
So, if you will use it that way, allow yourself in those panic attacks not to hyperventilate, stay calm, use a paper bag if you need to breathe into, keep yourself calm, and just remember, this is an opportunity to reveal another nugget of information about yourself and approach it with positive meaning to get a positive effect from the experience. Don't deny the feeling, by all means, but recognize it is there for your purposes, for your service, for your reason. As uncomfortable as it may be for a while, you'll get past it, you'll process it, you'll get through it, if you just remember that it is always for the purpose of giving yourself an opportunity to discover more of who you really are, so that you can add that to your knowledge of yourself and rise above and go beyond and expand beyond the idea that your father was limited to about what a person could be. Does this help you?
A lot. Thanks so much, Bashar.